Hello and good evening, everyone, or morning, or whatever it is when you're watching this. Welcome back to the channel. My name's soujisakatattv. I'm a gender-fluid cat cybernetic VTuber, and I am finally getting back to my epic rap battles of history reactions. I apologize, I have been away for a little bit. Things in my life decided to get a little hectic, and I ended up having to redo most of my stream setup. As you can see, we have an all-new overlay. This is for my live stream, hence the chat box up there, as well as some other additions I've made to my streams. So if you want to check out those additions, I go live very frequently at twitch.tv/soujisakatattv. You can see that right over there in that box. Every 30 seconds or so it changes, but it cycles through. And as well, I haven't posted anything on TikTok in a while, but I'm going to be trying to start making some shorts, so check out my shorts. On TikTok, it'll be at soujisakatattv on TikTok as well. And check out my Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it, which is... Are they still at... It's at soujisakatattv.ttv. I don't know what the actual website is anymore. I don't know if they switched it over to X or not, so... Either way, I'm going to be doing 3 reactions, actually, tonight. They'll all be separate videos, but watch for all of those coming out. So if you're seeing this, there should be 2 more available now. I'm going to get caught up from the last couple weeks I've missed. So, we're starting off with Ragnar Lodbrok versus Richard the Lionheart. I remember liking this battle. I don't remember all the bars, but I do remember this battle was really, really good. So, we're also going to be doing Harry Potter versus Luke Skywalker. Oh, that's the 4-minute one. That's going to be a long one. Yeehaw. That's going to be a longer video for sure. And then we are also going to get into Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So I'll talk more about how I don't want to get too political with that one. We're just in it for the fun and the bars, but I'll talk about that on that video. So without dragging this on too much longer, let's get into it. Ragnar Lodbrok, Richard the Lionheart. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by Rise of Kingdoms. Richard the Lion versus Ragnar Lodbrok! I'm Richard the First from the Third Crusade. That only leaves room for you in second place. The chivalrous swinger of the sword and mace, and I kill you when I spit like a pit full of snakes.
Okay, already off to a good start. I'm Richard the First of the Third Crusade, because of course his name, he's King Richard, but he was the first one named Richard, so he is Richard the First, and he was on the Third Crusade, and that only leaves room for Ragnar at number 2, since Richard's got 1 and 3 already locked up. And he's the chivalrous swinger of the sword and mace, and he'll kill you, what was it exactly? And I'll kill you when I spit like a pit full of snakes. I believe that was how Ragnar died, was to a large pit full of snakes. And of course, kill you when I spit. Snakes have poisonous venom that comes out of their fangs, so they would technically spit venom. But also, he's killing him with these bars he's spitting. I love that already. ERB never disappoints with the wordplay, and already off to a strong start. And I believe there's a dick joke coming up, if I remember correctly.
Kill you when I spit like a pit full of snakes. I'm the #1 dick, rising up to make you feel small.
Yep.
My battering ram slams through your shield wall. I'll announce at the next of your things that I'm chopping through your family like boneless wings. Of course you...
So yeah, of course, if you don't know, the name Richard is often shortened to Dick, which does have a completely different meaning. And he's rising up to make you feel small. So, yeah, that's... I don't think I need to explain that one. And his battering ram will slam through your shield wall. Again, innuendos on innuendos on innuendos. I love how they worked that one in. That is so clever and so funny. I do quite love that. And then what was it? I'll announce at the next of your things that I'm chomping through your family like boneless wings. Ragnar's son was... I don't remember his name. Something... It had something to do with boneless, and I don't know the meaning behind it. But that was his... I think it was Ragnar's son, or it was a relative of his for sure. Was called the Boneless or something. His name, the Boneless. I have no idea what the reference is there, but the Things was also... It was one of their, like, Viking meetings of some sort. Again, I'm not an expert on Viking history, But I know that's like the things is a meeting they would have. So Richard's going to get up at one of their meetings and announce that he's going to chomp through their family like boneless wings. Of course, making a pun at the Igor. Was it? I always want to say, is it Igor? It's not Igor. I might have to look that one up later. I said Igor out of instinct. That seems like that's something related. I'm not sure. But yeah, good innuendos, and then a good jab at his kid or relative there about being boneless, the weird name that he had.
I'll announce at the next of your things that I'm chopping through your family like boneless wings. Of course you got avenged by a kid with no bones. Your own story ended worse than Game of Thrones. Your son killed your ex killed your wife. I'm the Lion King, man, but that's a messed up circle of life.
Easily one of the best bars in this entire thing. Your son killed your ex, and your ex killed your wife. And, of course, Richard the Lionheart, he's the Lion King. And, yeah, that is a messed up circle of life. I haven't heard that song in forever. I think I got the tune wrong, but what is it? I haven't heard Circle of Life from the Lion King in years. I don't watch Disney movies very much. But, yeah, that's such a good bar there. And then what was the other one? Of course you got avenged by a kid with no bones. Yeah, that's the kid I was talking about. They didn't say his name, though. I don't know what it is. But his own story ended worse than Game of Thrones. I've never seen Game of Thrones. I heard the ending kind of sucked. And yeah, that's... Ragnar did kind of have a lackluster end in that pit of snakes. I don't know the exact history, but I do know that it wasn't the best, like, most historic ending. It kind of just ended a bit flat for him. So that's a really good jab again there.
Your ex killed your wife. I'm the Lion King, man, but that's a messed up circle of life. Half-ass head taps can't be condoned. It's like you raided the face of Post Malone. I'm scared of no foe. I'm backed by the Trinity. I'll conquer you on my day off like you were Sicily.
Okay, and another great finish from ERB here with this one. Where was it? Half-assed head tats can't be condoned. Because Ragnar has the head tats on the side where his where he's got that shaved part on the side of his head there. And, yeah, that does... if there's one person who has face tats, that would be the very prolific Post Malone. Shout out to Donut Media, who measures time in before and after Post Malone. I do love that bit they do. I miss that. Bring back up to speed if you're watching this, Donut. Anyway, I got sidetracked. What else was there? I'm scared of no foe. I'm backed by the Trinity. And I'll conquer you on my day off like you were Sicily. So yeah, of course, Richard being who he was, you know, the reason they called him the Lionheart, he was very good at battle for the most part. And with that being said, he is backed by the Trinity, which, because he is a Christian, and that was what he fought for, that he is backed by the Son, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, I think is what it is. I don't know, I'm agnostic, I have no idea. I may have grown up in a Christian area of the world, but I have very little religious knowledge. But I do believe that is what the Trinity is it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I think I've heard that before. So, and yeah, he's, and he did, I believe, conquer Sicily on his day off. He's just did it for fun, basically. So that's kind of a good flex to be like, yeah, I'm going to beat you when I'm supposed to be relaxing because this is what I do for fun. This isn't even work for me. That goes hard. That goes hard. Let's see how Ragnar comes back at him.
No foe, I'm backed by the Trinity. I'll conquer you on my day off like you were Sicily.
Threatening to conquer Ragnar is bold. For a king who got whacked by a 10-year-old. I'll sacrifice you to Odin while drinking horns of mead. Good thing you hold the red cross, cause that's who you're going to need.
Okay, already a good start from Ragnar. What is it? Threatening to conquer Ragnar is bold. For a king who got whacked by a 10-year-old. Yes, I believe Richard was indeed killed by a 10-year-old. I don't know the whole story there, but it was a little kid who ended up hitting him. I think it was with a bow, an arrow, I think, or a crossbow or something. And he died from the infection, I believe, from that wound. So yeah, a 10-year-old did kill him. So yeah, he's like, "You're gonna kill me? You got beat by a 10-year-old, dude. Come on." what was it? I'll sacrifice you to Odin, because of course he just Richard was just saying how he's backed by God, and Ragnar's like, yeah, I got my own gods, Thor, Loki, and Odin. Weirdly, I actually know more about them from the Yu-Gi-Oh cards in 5Ds than I do actual Norse mythology, but that is their three main. I guess I know them from Marvel's the Avenger movies and stuff as well. Odin is the father, and then Thor and Loki, the two sons of Odin, the Lord of the Aesir. So, very good reference to that, clapping back at his own religious stuff there. And what was it? Oh, while drinking horns of mead. Of course, the Vikings very much did like their mead and drink. Very boisterous crew, the Vikings. However, surprisingly clean. Interesting fact about the Vikings. European men actually hated the Vikings because they bathed, they showered, and they actually took better care of themselves. And hard to believe that all the women in Europe actually liked the Vikings a lot, because they're like, wow, they're not smelly and stinky and nasty. They're actually clean and well-groomed. So, yeah, fun fact there on that one. I never knew that, and I thought that was interesting. All right. Oh, and good thing you hold the red cross, because that's who you're going to need. Of course, the flag of England is a red cross. Yeah, that's also the aid group that helps wounded. I think they do more than just wounded soldiers, but they help out the sick and the unhealthy. So, good reference there as well.
While drinking horns of mead. Good thing you hold the red cross, cause that's who you're going to need. You built your army by raising English taxes. I raised my army taxing English asses with my axes. And who are you to talk about the circle of life? Your old lady can't feel the love on any night. Your only son was in.
I forgot about that. Okay, let's break that one down. God. You raised your army by, you built your army by raising English taxes. That is true. King Richard taxed the living crap out of England back in the day to fund his army in the Crusades. Meanwhile, Ragnar, yeah, he raised his army by taxing English asses with his axes. So he's like, yeah, you were out here taking money from your own people. Meanwhile, I'm out there whooping your rear. Or at least your country's rear. I don't know if they actually fought directly or not. They may have been different times, but that's such a good reference. You're like, you're taking from your own people, and I'm taking from your people, too. That hurts. And then, who are you to talk about the circle of life? Yeah, I do believe Richard had some bedroom performance issues. Again, I'm no English or history major, but I do remember hearing a little bit about that. And yeah, he let's put it this way. He probably would have had a good sponsorship possibility with Viagra or Cialis if that was existing back in the day. If that existed. Where did that? Yeah. Don't come after me, grammar police. I'm doing this at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. Brain is already starting to shut down for the night. It's going to be a long one. But yes, your old lady can't feel the love on any night. I do believe yeah, because can you feel the love tonight? Is that a Lion King reference again, or is that another Disney movie? I thought that was Aladdin. Can't remember. It's been like 15 years.
The circle of life. Your old lady can't feel the love on any night. Your only son was illegitimate. You out on the side. It was just fine like the end of the Plantagenet line. I'm just a warrior. I'm not the linguist, but I think the king of England should probably speak English. You took accurate.
Another good one. I forgot how good Ragnar was in this. Your only son was illegitimate, so you erred on the side. If you make an error, of course, that's a goof. But he's talking in the sense of having an heir to the throne. So yeah, he had to err on the side by getting was it an adoption or did he have an affair? I can't remember. Either way, his son was not a legitimate heir to the throne. It was not the son of him and his queen. It was from a different mother, I do believe. I don't remember if it was an adoption or not. But yeah, that's not the way you want to have your prince back in the day. That's not a... Today it's much more acceptable, but especially when you're looking at royalty, that's usually frowned on. For reference, see modern-day royal family in England. And, yeah, tell me how that's good. I know there's some differences in opinion there, so... And then what was the other one? Oh, and I'm just a warrior. I'm not a linguist, but I think the King of England should probably speak English. I do love the way that's delivered. Because, yeah, Richard was French and spoke French. Was it French or... No, it might be Spanish. It's either French or Spanish. He actually was the king of a country, and he did not speak their language. Not a good look for... not a good look for your king. That'd be like the President of the United States, and he only speaks Spanish. That would not be a good look. You need to speak the language of your people. That's kind of an important thing to have.
I'm not the linguist, but I think the King of England should probably speak English. You took Acre and Jaffa like a piece of cake, but never attacked Jerusalem for Christ's sake. Saw the whole land, but couldn't go all the way. We should call it the Crusade of Richard the First Base. Sail back.
Oh, such a good one to finish again. So you took Acre and Jaffa like a piece of cake. I know there's such things as Jaffa cakes. I don't know if that's how they're spelled or not. I'm guessing Acre is another type of cake you can get in England or Europe or somewhere in that area. Knowing that it's Richard, it's probably England. I've heard of Jaffa cakes before. I've not heard of Acre cakes. I'd have to look that one up to see what those are. But I know that's a thing. Like a piece of cake. But you never attacked Jerusalem, for Christ's sake. As in, like, the explanation, oh, for Christ's sake. But at the same time, that was the whole point of the Crusades, was to take back the Holy Land in the name of the Lord Christ. So, that's such a good double on that, because he's like, you never attacked, you never did the one thing you set out to do for the sake of your God that you're doing this for. You did everything else, and then you never finished the job. It's such a clever way to say that with the well-known saying and stuff. That's just so good. And then, but yeah, and you saw the Holy Land and couldn't go all the way. We should call you the Crusade of Richard the First Base. Of course, if you're trying to get it on with a girl and you only get to first base, you did not get all the way there. And that's pretty much what Richard had with the Crusades. He tried to get down and dirty with the Crusades, and he never really got past first base. He might have tried to steal second and failed, but it never really worked. So, a really good comeback there from Ragnar to end his first verse.
We couldn't go all the way. We should call it the Crusade of Richard the First Base.
Sail back north with your barbarian goons, because I'm tearing down your legacy, leaving it in ruins. Your real self next to your legend disappoints. I see you shaking in your shaggy little pants like zoinks.
Okay, probably the worst line in this. I do remember how bad the Scooby bar was. So yeah, sail back north with your barbarian goons. Of course, that was kind of the Viking stereotype. They were a little more old school than new school. They relied on older school technology rather than, the English had bows and arrows, and the Vikings were still using axes and so on. So that's a good jab. But I'm tearing down your legacy, leaving it in runes. Runes was how the Vikings actually wrote things down. So he's tearing down your legacy and leaving it in the history books, but also as in runes like ruins, leaving it in shambles. He's going to tear it down. Again, another clever double with the homophone there. I do love that. And then I see you shaking in your shaggy little pants like zoinks. Oh, your real self next to your legend disappoints. That's a good bar. It's like, hey, you aren't as good as as I was told you were. But then the shaggy bar. I mean, yeah, they kind of wore fuzzy pants. It was cold, but I don't know. The shaggy bar felt forced a little there, and that's coming from a Scooby-Doo fan. Yeah, I love Scooby, but that's not that ain't it, Chief. All right.
Yourself next to your legend disappoints. I see you shaking in your shaggy little pants like zoinks. Who invented the royal me? We. Who's the predominantly fictional MC? Lee. You're a wannabe, mon ami. Kneel down and honor me. Richard coming through with the end like Sean Connery.
And brings it back from a bad bar. What a flow from Peter as Richard here, Who invented the royal me we? Who's the predominantly fictional MCV? So he's like, that's crazy. Using the old English stuff too. That's so good. So he's like, yeah, who invented the royal me? Well, we did, you know. It's like, that's I don't know how the old English works, but basically he's talking himself up, and then he's like, so who's not so good at this? I'm great, and you kind of suck. But that's such a clever way to say it, to make it sound so good. And then, you're a wannabe, mon ami, kneel down and honor me. So he's like, yeah, you're a wannabe of me, so, you know, bow down. And Richard's coming through in the end like Sean Connery. If you've ever seen, I don't know what the title of the movie is, it's the Kevin Costner Robin Hood movie. King Richard I is played by none other than former James Bond, Sean Connery. And he does kind of only come in right at the end of the movies. And of course, being that he's the king of that, yeah, he kind of comes through and settles everything out. And yeah, so he's coming through in the end like Sean Connery. That's so good.
Love that part. Coming through in the end like Sean Connery.
And delivers it like Sean Connery would do, too. Coming through in the end like Sean Connery. That's how Sean Connery kind of talks. That's so good.
Double coronated blood and gore gourmet. You might have the axe, but I make a body spray.
Oh.
If I wanted to fight loser Vikings, I'd go to Minnesota.
Oh, as somebody who is very familiar with Cleveland Browns and the AFC football, yeah, the Vikings are not having a great time. They're not as bad as the Browns, but man, they're up there. They're not playing good football recently. But what else is it? He's the double coronated blood and gore gourmet. So yes, he was coronated twice, because I think he was the king of two countries simultaneously. Was that the case? I can't remember. I want to think that's what he means by that, because I think he was the king of one country, and they had him ruling the other one as well. It was something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong there. I'm going off memory of history class from 8 years ago. And then what was it? You might have the axe, but I'll make a body spray. It's cheesy, but it's good, because it's like I didn't see that line coming when I first heard this verse. It's so clever. I love that. Axe body spray, of course. And if you have an axe and you're in a war, you cut somebody open and blood sprays out. So yeah, he's gonna make a body spray despite not having the axe. That's so good. What was it? Oh yeah, and then Lionheart's the sobriquet, but I strike like a cobra, because of course, again, Ragnar got killed by snakes, so that's a good like jab at his like, yeah, sobriquet. What is the definition of sobriquet? Sobriquet. I want to know what that. I don't know what the definition of that word is. A person's nickname. Oh. So what is that line then? Oh, Lionheart's my nickname, but I strike like a cobra. Okay, that's really clever. I didn't know what that word meant. So he says, yeah, Lionheart might be my nickname. I'm nicknamed the Lionheart, but I strike like a snake. That's so good. And then if I wanted to fight loser Vikings, I'd go to Minnesota. That hurts.
You want to fight me? Take off the tin shirt. I'll be waiting in my birthday suit, going berserk. Ding dang dong, morning bells warn about me at the break of dawn. And I'm putting you to sleep like your brother John. Living monks and chunks on Northumbrian lawns, as I'm the all-father spawn.
Ooh. Okay, that's the ding dang dong throws me off. I think it's a reference to something. If it's not, not my favorite line. But what is it? Oh yeah. You want to fight me? Take off the tin shirt. I'll be waiting in my birthday suit, going berserk. Another good one, because yeah, Vikings often didn't use a whole lot of armor, and there was something in their culture about fighting naked, or something about, if it wasn't naked, it was very little clothing. And the berserk thing, that was some kind of like state of mind they would have, or some kind of battle technique. Basically, they would just go absolutely insane, and they'd use all their raw strength. It was, again, I don't remember all the details, but it was a very impressive feat of strength that they had at their disposal. And, yeah, hence why he's standing there naked. Hey, take off your tin shirt. Let's go at this mano a mano without all the weapons. Just you and me going at it. Like, that's such a good... Like, you rely on armor. I'm just going to out-battle you. Like, that's... I like that de-escalation of, throw away the weapons, one-on-one, battle of skill. I love that premise. And then, Ding Dang Dong... What was the... I forgot the lyric now.
I've been waiting in my birthday suit, going berserk. Ding dang dong, morning bells warn about me at the break of dawn.
Yeah, morning bells weren't about me at the break of dawn, because they used to have raid bells they would ring, I believe. Again, I could be wrong here, but I do remember something about there being bells they would ring if they thought a Viking attack was imminent so that the people could prepare. So yeah, morning bells weren't about me at the break of dawn.
And I'm putting you to sleep like your brother John.
Putting you to sleep like your brother John. Did Richard have a brother? I guess Richard had a brother named John, and I'm guessing either he was killed by Vikings or he just died prior to Richard passing, hence why he's putting you to sleep like your brother John. And I'm leaving monks and chunks on Northumbrian lawns.
Leaving monks and chunks on Northumbrian lawns as I'm the All-Father spawn.
Nice, because he's yeah. So, of course, monks and chunks, I don't have to dive too deep on that reference. But because I'm the All-Father spawn. I think that refers to Odin, the All-Father. Basically, he's like, yeah, hey, I'm cutting up the people who are, your religion's, representatives. Because my religion and my God believe in me, and that's what's allowing me to do it. So it's like trying to dismiss Richard's religion while also talking his up like, hey, I went at your people, and I'm my people, and we won. So, like, that's a pretty good comeback, actually. I quite like that one.
You couldn't even beat a salad in a fight. You saw this Monty Python nights. You went from chainmail to chained up in jail to mommy drained England to pay for your bail. With no
Oh, okay. That one hurts. You couldn't even beat a salad in a fight. Saladin was famously the man who defeated Richard and held him for ransom. And yeah, that's you're as soft as Monty Python nights. I'm not going to explain this one. Monty Python was a movie by Mel Brooks. It's called Monty Python and the Holy Grail. If you have never seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, do yourself a favor. Finish this video, and then go watch that movie. It's an absolute stone cold classic, and if you've never seen it, you need to. And this is a reference to where's it at? Yeah, the reference he's there. That's how they get around. They act like they're riding horses, but it's a comedy. So they just basically gallop around like they're riding invisible horses. It's hilarious. Highly recommended. Soji approved. Go watch that one. You went from chainmail to chained up in jail to mommy drained England to pay for your bail. That's very true. He went from being in the lead of his army to, yep, he got captured, locked up, and held for ransom. And then, yeah, Richard's mom basically taxed England into oblivion to afford the bail to get their king back out of jail. Not a good look or a good time for England at that point.
You went from chainmail to chained up in jail to mommy drained England to pay for your bail. But no king's ransom will save you from these bars, son. I'm eating you alive like the gangrene you died from.
Eating you alive like the gangrene you died from. Yeah, and no king's ransom will save you from these bars. Because, of course, the king's ransom, what got him out of jail, that saved him from the jail bars, but it isn't going to save him from Ragnar's bars. And that's what gangrene does. It kind of eats you alive. That's a very good end of the rap there. I'm giving this one to Ragnar. Richard had a lot of good, double entendres and wordplay, but Ragnar's punches were harder, and he had every bit the lyrical talent that Peter used as Richard, but Lloyd as Ragnar, just the punches were harder. Equal skill, better jabs from Ragnar there. So, that's a good bar. That's a good battle in general. That one's fun. I forgot how good that battle was. I haven't really broken it down like that before, and that's so good. So, but yeah, I'm picking Ragnar. Let me know who you picked down in the comments below. My name is Soji, and for you, I'll see you in the next video. For me, I'm going to be back in, about a minute. So, we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one.